Hey guys, I've been daily driving the Pixel 9 and checking out all the cool new features. But what happened to my previous daily driver, the S24? Well, I didn't trade it in or anything. I still have it here. But I don't know if I should switch back. So I think now would be a great time to compare the S24 and the Pixel 9 to see which one goes back in my pocket. Let's go. Hey, you! Before we go, just a quick word. Why haven't you subscribed yet? I know this channel is small, but I got so many things planned for this channel. So subscribe now and you won't regret it. Now, let's go. So first, design. The Pixel 9 has a newly redesigned camera hub, and it's definitely a monstrous one. But that aside, the design is unique and has the look of precision, which I'm a fan of. Compare this to the small and sleek camera bumps on the S24, which don't look as prominent, giving a more minimal look to the overall phone. One more notable difference is the size of the phones. The Pixel 9 comes with a bigger 6.3-inch display, making the overall size and weight of the phone just a bit bigger than the S24 with the 6.2-inch display. While I do enjoy having the slightly bigger display on the Pixel 9 for watching videos, I'd much rather have the S24's overall smaller phone size while on the go and being more comfortable to hold for longer periods. Both phones have aluminum frames with rounded edges and a matte finish. On the front, both have high screen-to-body ratios, but it's the S24 that looks better here with the thinner bezel. On the back, the S24 is matte and the Pixel 9 glossy. This doesn't matter as much to me since I always have a case on, but I do think the matte looks nicer and doesn't get attacked with fingerprints. Moving on to display. Like I mentioned earlier, the Pixel 9 has a slightly bigger display that is 0.1 inch bigger than the S24. Other than that, there's not really too many differences between these two displays. Both are 1080p OLEDs with up to 120Hz refresh. The Pixel 9 has a peak brightness of 2700 nits versus the S24's 2600, and the difference isn't noticeable. The S24 has a smaller punch hole for the front camera, which is nice, but also not really noticeable. What is different this time is the fingerprint sensors. Pixel phones have had a bad rap for having a super slow fingerprint sensor. But this time, it has a really fast and accurate sensor, and maybe just a tiny bit faster than the S24. It's a very much needed and welcome improvement for the Pixel 9. Okay, next we're gonna look at the most important feature, the cameras. The Pixel 9 has the same 50 megapixel wide from the Pixel 8, which is still a great camera. The S24 also has a 50 megapixel, but a smaller sensor and aperture. For the ultra wide, the Pixel 9 has a huge upgrade with a new 48 megapixel camera with autofocus, compared to the S24's 12 megapixel. For telephoto though, the Pixel 9 still doesn't have one, so it's only digital zoom, whereas the S24 has a dedicated camera, a 10 megapixel telephoto. Looking at the photos, I like that the Pixel 9 has a more softer and natural color profile. It doesn't look as punchy when you compare it with the S24 that really pushes saturation and contrast. The wider aperture on the Pixel 9 really gives a nice background blur that looks very buttery, almost like film quality, which I find very attractive. Okay, now low light. I thought the S24 was going to blow away the Pixel 9, but I was really surprised when I compared the photos. While the S24's photos are a lot brighter, they are also very noisy. compared to the Pixel 9s, which are less bright but barely show any noise. If I bring up the brightness on the Pixel 9 photos, I can see that the image is just so much cleaner. Comparing videos shot at 4K 30 FPS, both handle stabilization very well. But I can see that the video on the Pixel 9 is better exposed in dark areas and not so overexposed when there's hard sunlight. At night, neither of them do so well, but it's the Pixel 9 that holds it together with less stuttering and bringing in more light into the frame. While there are some extra modes on the Pixel 9 like macro mode and the new Add Me, I'm missing a Pro photo and video mode. I know I should just get a Pixel 9 Pro if I want these modes, but on the S24, it's standard on the base model, and I really like that it's just included. Okay, now sound. I'm not an audiophile, so I'm not too crazy about what I hear from these speakers. However, I did notice that the Pixel 9 has a lot better bass, and it's probably because of the larger speakers. Next, let's talk about performance. Google has their Tensor G4 with 8 cores and 12 gigabytes of RAM. Pretty nice. And the S24 has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 with 8 cores, or Exynos 2400 if you're outside the US. Besides the difference in RAM, the Pixel 9 also has a bigger battery at 4700 milliamps versus 4000 milliamps on the S24, which both give more than a day of battery life. Heat has always been an issue with the Pixel phones, and I definitely felt it on the Pixel 8 while charging and recording. And on the Pixel 9, it's still there. This is most likely due to Google skipping out on including vapor chamber cooling in the base model. But much of the performance specs don't really matter for my daily use, so I think it's better that we see how they do in a benchmark. So in this 20-minute stress test in 3D Mark, the results show that the S24 outperforms the Pixel 9 in FPS by as much as 2x, but does slow down considerably within the first few loops. While the Pixel 9 is much slower in FPS, it is more consistent in performance across all loops. Okay, lastly, let's talk about software. Being a more recently minted Pixel user, I really see the huge difference in user experiences being offered by the Pixel and Galaxy. The Pixel 9 offers the clean and elegant Pixel UI with more focus on user-friendly features like call screening, now playing, and the new AI-enhanced features like Magic Editor and the new Screenshots app that summarizes your info from your screenshots. The S24, on the other hand, is a little less elegant in the UI department, but has so much more in functionality with its extensive camera modes that almost feel like a pro phone. The very underrated Samsung desktop experience, and automation with modes and routines. Okay guys, now that I'm done comparing the two phones, I think I've made up my mind on which one is going back in my pocket. And that one is the S24. As much as I love the quality of the photos and the great user experience on the Pixel 9, there's just so much more being offered in the S24 for a base model phone that almost seems like a pro phone. Not only that, the S24 is still much faster than Google's newest chip, even with less RAM. In terms of ergonomics, the S24 being overall smaller in size and weight just makes using and holding the phone a lot more comfortable. And I don't mind that the display is a tiny bit smaller. And those are my reasons why the S24 is going back in my pocket for now. So do you guys think the Pixel 9 is worth the upgrade? Or is the S24 still the better phone? Let me know down in the comments below, and please make sure to hit that like button to support the channel, and subscribe to see more updates on the Pixel and Galaxy. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.